Welcome. We'll start Class 8 Civics Chapter 1. Today the chapter name is the Constitution of India. Today I'll explain you the Constitution of India. Today I'll give you some of the topic that I want to teach you right now. First of all, Constitution and from where does Indian Constitution has been taken, and the third one is law, principle and the preamble and the main features of the Constitution. These all are our basic concept. First one is the Constitution of India, law, third one is the preamble and the fourth one is the main features of the Constitution. Constitution means a set of written rules. It is a set of written rules and regulations through which a country is governed. A constitution is a set of written rules, law according to which a state is governed. There are two types of constitution. There are mainly two types of constitution. First one is written constitution and the second one is unwritten constitution. The example of written constitution, India follow the written constitution, and the second one is America, and unwritten constitution, Britain. You know, our constitution has a written constitution. Our constitution has a written constitution which came into force on 26 January 1950. It comes in force on 26 January 1950. Britain has a unwritten constitution. Which is governed by a tradition. That means Britain follows the unwritten constitutions which is governed by the tradition. Now next question is, why do we need constitution? Our next topic is, why do we need constitution? Yes, we need constitution for the smooth functioning of the country. To understand the political system. And to delimit the scope and activities of various organs of the government. To delimit. If there is no constitution, if there is no written rules and regulation, then our government does not have any kind of limit. So to limit the scope and activities, to delimit the scope and activities of various organs of the government, we need constitution. To enjoy the fundamental rights, we need constitution. Now the question arises, from where does we had taken the Indian Constitution? From where does India's Constitution taken? Yes, it is borrowed. India's Constitution is borrowed from different countries. For example, the Indian Constitution is unique. In its contents and spirits, although it had picked up many best features. That means Indian Constitution has picked up from various countries. They picked up all the features from the various countries. That's why India's Constitution is unique in nature. That's the reason the India's Constitution is unique in nature. The Constitution of India has several silent features. The India's Constitution contains silent features that differentiate it from other constitution of the country. It is true that it had borrowed from the different countries. It is true that it had borrowed some features, but drafted according to the, that means the Indian Constitution has been borrowed from different country, but drafted according to the historical perspectives, geographical diversity, cultural and traditional characteristics of India. for drafting the India's constitution, they have kept in mind about the historical perspectives, geographical diversity, cultural and traditional characteristics of India. Now, name of the country. I have written some of the name of the country and what are the features the Indian constitution borrowed from Britain. From Britain, it borrowed parliamentary form of government. From Britain, rule of law and single citizenship is also borrowed from the Britain constitution. Cabinet system is also taken from the Britain. From USA, the India's constitution taken the fundamental rights and the preamble of the constitution. The preamble of the constitution. Now, preparing the draft and implementation of constitution, the responsibility of making the constitution was given to the drafting committee. That means drafting committee draft the India's constitution was given drafting committee under the chairmanship of Bhimrao Ambedkar, Krishna Swamy Iyer, K.M. Munshi, etc. The India's constitution was prepared by the Constituent Assembly. The India's constitution was prepared by Constituent Assembly after nearly 3 years of debate and discussion. That means India's constitution drafted after a long debate and discussion, nearly about 3 years. Finally, the draft of the constitution was passed on 26 November 1949 and signed by Dr. Rajendra Prasad, the first president of India. And it is signed by Dr. Rajendra Prasad, the first president of India. Our constitution had 395 articles. Our constitution earlier it is 395 articles, but nowadays we are having a 444 articles under 12 schedules. And India's constitution has the longest written constitution in the world. India's constitution has the longest constitution in the world. Now next topic is preamble. Preamble is an introductory part of the constitution. Before preamble, I would like to discuss you about the law. Law, you know what do you mean by law? Law, the word law is derived from a Teutonic word. Law means something fixed. It has been taken from a Teutonic word lag, which means something fixed, which is already fixed. That means we can also define law. It is the set of rules and regulation through which a country is governed. Now our next question is, why do we need law? Yes, we need law. We need law for the smooth functioning, and we need law also for as they regulates the civics life. Yes, they regulates the civics life of the society and for good governance. Several laws have been passed and implemented to safeguard the people. Yes, there are several laws which has been passed by the government to safeguard the people. For example, Dowry Prohibition Act 1961, Sati system, or we can say Sati Prevention Act. Constituent Assembly. The Constituent Assembly was given the task of the forming of the constitution. Okay? That means drafting committee is responsible for forming the Constitution of India. It had its first sitting on 9th December 1946. It has its first sitting on 9th December 1946. The framers of India's constitution was very much aware. Yes, the framers of India's constitution is very much aware of the social, economic and cultural diversity of India. That means the drafting committee were very much aware about the social, cultural and the cultural diversity of India. Social, economic and cultural diversity of India. Now the third topic is, and you know, India's constitution has the longest written constitution in the world. Preamble. Preamble means, a preamble is an introductory part of our constitution. It is a introductory part of our constitution. A preamble is not a part of the constitution. It is not only the part of the constitution, but it is a foundation on which a constitution stands. It is a foundation on which the constitution is stand. That we can say that preamble is an introductory part of constitution. It is the foundation on which the constitution stands. It is the guidelines. Yes, it is also a guidelines of the Indian constitution. It declares India to be a sovereign. Yes, India to be a sovereign, socialist, secular and democratic republic, and set of other basic ideas of the India's republic. Now, last topic, that is the main function of the India's constitution. There are many functions of India's constitution. Main features, that means it has a written constitution, federalism. Third one is rigid as well as flexible. Rigid as well as flexible, division of power, parliamentary form of government, fundamental rights and duties, and last one is secularism. That means these all are the main features of the India's constitution. That means written constitution. Written constitution means what? Ki all the rules and regulation is written in our India's constitution. That means law are fixed for all of us. That means all are equal in eye of law. Federalism means what? Federalism is a system of government in which we divides the power between the state and central. And it has also, India's constitution is also rigid as well as flexible. Sometimes it is very flexible, India's, and sometimes it is very rigid. For example, law is fixed for all of us. Parliamentary form of government, yes, India has a very unique features of India's constitution, that it has a parliamentary form of government. Next one is fundamental rights and duties. In our India's constitution, the main feature is that it has the fundamental rights and duties. Yes, we have the fundamental rights and duties. Next one is secular. India is a secular country. That means all are equal. Secular country. That means there is no any state or any difference among the people of the India. That means we all are equal. Now, so what we have learned today we have seen what do you mean by constitution, okay, and from where does our India's constitution has been taken. Okay, constitution is a set of rules and regulation through which a state is governed. And there are two types of constitution. First one is written constitution, second one is unwritten constitution. Written, the example of written constitution is India, USA, and unwritten constitution is Britain, Great Britain. Third, why do we need constitution? Yes, we need constitution to understand the political system of country, and to delimits the scope and activities of various organs of the government. Third, to enjoy the fundamental rights. Yes, from where does we have already discussed from where does India's constitution taken? It is borrowed from different country. Some of the features had been borrowed from Britain, USA. The India's constitution is unique. Yes, the India's constitution is unique. Features. The Constitution of India has a several salient features that distinguish, that differentiate it from the other constitution of the world. Third one is the India has the longest written constitution. Fourth, the topic is the preamble. It is an introductory part of our constitution. We can say it is the foundation on which our constitution depends. Third, main features of the India's constitution. The main features of India's constitution: written constitution. Second, federalism. Third, rigid as well as flexible. It has rigid as well as flexible parliamentary form of government, fundamental rights and duties, and secularism.